Today on Alaskan Ballistics, the Cmmg Banshee 10mm. Let's check this thing out. Welcome back to Alaskan Ballistics. My name is Chuck. I hope you're doing well today. So I reached out to Cmmg and they sent this out for T&E, so I do have to send it back. So put in the comments what kind of ammo you want to see tested over the chronograph in this. And this is their radial delayed blowback system. It is a 10mm. They have the SGM mag in it. I have not tried the SGM mags for any of my YouTube reviews, so hopefully the 10mm SGM mags do well, but I will also put regular Glock mags in it. A lot of features I really like. You got this M-lock rail, and it's perfect for putting your hand out here, C-clamping. You got a linear comp, and I'm not big on comps for, PCCs that don't really need it, but this might be great for bear defense, keeping those rounds down, not allowing so much recoil, and that might actually be a great addition for bear defense, right there, that linear comp. One of my favorite things is a reloader is this polymer shell deflector. It's a very hard, dense polymer that you could drop it right on the concrete. It wouldn't crack or anything like that. So it might not be as good as I'm thinking it is, but I think it's not going to dent the shells nearly as badly as, a metal one is. That should be standard on all AR-15s and AR-10s. All right, y'all listening to other companies, because that means you don't dink up your shells where you can't reload them. I've never had a 45-degree angle on there. I kind of like it. It is nice. It is nice, easy to push with your thumb. It also means that this doesn't get in the way as much, because if this were pointing straight up and down, this would start to rub into your trigger finger right here where it meets your hand, and the 45-degree allows that not to happen. And the trigger itself is just, Cmmg is an amazing company, so that is a beautiful trigger and a beautiful reset. You do get a storage thing here. It's better than a Magpul storage too. Where a Magpul has the whole clip you take out, you lose it. This one's hinged in. Those are some of the main features. Obviously, the radial delay. Let's go ahead and look in here. Take it out. It looks like a standard bolt carrier group from this far away, but it's not. Okay, you can see that it's kind of spring-loaded in here a little bit. And that gives it enough radial delay to keep it closed just a little bit longer. And I'm wondering if that's going to affect velocity. So we're going to compare this to my 9-inch Glock barrel in a few weeks. We'll do a video separately. Let's go shoot this thing and have some fun. Here we go. CCI Blazer Brass. First shots with the Cmmg Banshee. Got to turn that red dot up just a little bit here in the snow. Glasses are fogging up. Fed the weak CCI Blazer Brass just fine, no issues. Here we go, Cmmg, Remington, 180 grain, Glock mag this time. There we go. 15 rounds. Not bad at all. Now, I do want to say they sent a brace out for the gun, but I just could not get this castle nut off. It was like it was Loctited on there so tight that I could not get it off. I even scratched it a little bit right there. All right, we got 20 rounds this time of the SIG ammo. This is actual 10mm loading, kind of 1250, 180 grain, kind of like it's supposed to be. I've got the sights a little bit more adjusted here. I've just been shooting on the target I shot all those 22 shorts on. So there's lots of 22 and 10mm in the same thing here. Good. No issues. See, the SGM magazine seems to be working well with this firearm, and that's full 10mm power right there. Well, in the medium range of 10mm, there's more powerful rounds than that. Let's get to one of those. All right, I've only got a few rounds of this left, so I'm only shooting 6. And this is the 165 grain Total Metal Jacket from Underwood. Let's see how it runs. Ran like a champ. Easy, easy, easy. 10mm. Loving it so far. I might have to convince my wife to let me buy this. So as you can see in the slow motion video there, sometimes I've had problems with it holding open on the last shot, only with the Glock original mag, but I have had that issue, probably a user error, and it'll probably happen again in this video. So we have this Tacticon Armament 1-6 Apex scope on there. Has a really long eye relief, which really helps it, this being a pistol, of course. And it's a nice scope. It's got a good reticle and everything. I'll do more in the scope later. It is all tightened down correctly. I made sure that everything is tight. So when we do some accuracy testing, we will be able to see if it is actually accurate. I tried some accuracy testing with just the red dot on there. I was getting groups that were kind of all over the place at 50 yards. So I wanted to make sure I tried it with a scope on there. So 6 power is plenty for 50 yards. So we'll see what we get. Wow, all over the place.
The best DVD. I think it's a
This is the tightest group I've had at 50 yards. It's about 2 inches, and that's acceptable accuracy for that kind of gun. 2 in the same hole there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's up and off center from here because I was sighted in with 180 grain full metal jackets, and those will barely stay in the 10 ring. But these actually group pretty nice, so that's actually not too bad. Now let's try some other stuff.
What's my deviation, bro?
Hit then arrow down to the bottom one.
And session?
Yeah.
Enter?
Yeah, and then hit the far left button.
Well, that opened up about 4 to 5 inches.
9.7.
9.7 deviation?
All right, so those 115 grain extreme defenders are right here, and here are my next 5 shots with 180 grain Hornady, and this is the typical accuracy I'm getting. This is about a 5-inch group, and that's just not acceptable for like XTP ammo. So if you get a Banshee, you're going to get a good group. At least this one groups well with 115 grain. It is 7 degrees, so I'm breathing hard, but it groups well with 115 grain extreme defender. I've shot a bunch of stuff through it. You're gonna have to trust me. I didn't bring it with me today, but I had like a 12-inch group with hard cast. It was 200 grain Underwood hard cast. So it seems like it really likes the lighter weights, and as far as grouping is concerned. But I digress. Let's put some full metal jackets down here and see how well we do. As you can see, the full metal jacket federals all over the place. That's kind of been the story with any full metal jacket brand. SIG, Fiocchi, and now Federal. Just all over the place when it comes to the 10mm and the Cmmg Banshee at 50 yards. But I am happy with that group right there. I've got 5 rounds of 200 grain Underwood hard cast right here. I'm gonna shoot it in the Cmmg.
Nice. How much did you pick that up for?
No ATF, the pistol tube's not touching my shoulder, it's just a big jacket. Yep.
Did you put that on yet? Oh my god.
No, I did, but.
Ooh, that's some recoil.
Yep, I don't even see my hit up there.
Uh-uh.
That'd be sweet. Because I don't know how this works. Is this thing right?
And it didn't lock back with those. Sometimes this thing doesn't lock back with the Glock mag. All right, this is where the Cmmg was just absolutely terrible. We have a hard cast, 200 grain. I was aiming at this huge. This is what, a 16-inch target? All right, it's 8-inch squares all the way over here. One of them's not numbered down there from shoot and see. So this is a 16-inch target. I'm aiming for the middle. And we've got one bullet tumbling over here. My first shot was right here. No, excuse me. I think that was my first shot. Second shot. Third shot. Fourth shot. Fifth shot. I was aiming right there. I've double checked the tightness on the scope and everything seems to be good there. It was doing this also when I was shooting it with just a red dot on it at 50 yards. So like that is a legit 18-inch group, wouldn't you say, Chook?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's a legit, because up there that's about 2 inches off the target to about 3 inches from the bottom, so at least a 17-inch group.
Yep.
And width-wise, it's a 15-inch group from there to there. Yeah, it looks like I was meaning to shoot that one. And you can tell that the bullets are tumbling. Those are 200 grain hard cast, and those bullets are tumbling. That hole is a little wider. So it has not got the capacity to be a great bear defense round with hard cast. You might have to go to like a 150 grain bonded full metal jacket or something like that. Those are hard to find these days, but I think they had the 150 grain and the 165 grain made by Spear bullets that you could try, but I'm not going to do any hand loads to a gun that isn't mine. So that's the 200 grain hard cast, and you know, they got to get the twist rate up in that barrel.
Yep.
Twist rate's wrong for that 200 grain hard cast. Three shots, Stream Defender. And that might be a 1 to 1 1/4 inch group right there.
Wow. Impressive.
Here's a 3-shot group out of that Cmmg Banshee. And these are the Extreme Defenders. And this is a 1 3/8 inch at 50 yards 3-shot group. That Banshee really likes that 115 grain Extreme Defenders. I had a 5-shot group that was less than 2 inches the other day as well. This is less than 1.5 inches center hole to center hole, and a little over 1.5 inches hole edge to edge, as you can see here on the inch squares. So really good group for a PCC, or pistol caliber pistol, whatever you want to call it, PCP, which is not probably a good name for it. But yeah, it's really good group, and I'm impressed with the accuracy. This would be a good deer hunting round. Yep. And deer hunting gun from a small stand during pistol season or something like that. So I also think this would be great for home defense, especially if you lived in an apartment where you could use the 135 grain hollow points that Underwood produces. I believe they're a Nosler hollow point, and those things tend to fragment a little bit, so you'll get some velocity that'll make them fragment, but they'll penetrate deep enough to do some damage. You know, they wouldn't be my ideal 12 to 18 inches or 15 to 18 inches that I like. But for an apartment complex, I think this would be a very good weapon as opposed to a rifle for home defense, where you might shoot through your intruder and still, even with the hollow point, possibly shoot through multiple walls. So I think this would be a very good with a red dot and a flashlight, and it'd be great for home defense. We also had this get chewed up a little bit along with the inside right here, and that seemed to happen when I was bench rest shooting some of the Blazer brass. So it only seemed to happen with that ammo, but it was able to kind of hit the metal first before it hit the deflector. So thanks for watching my video on the Cmmg Banshee. So I think this is a great gun. It's fun to shoot, and that is the only reason you need to buy a gun, okay? If you don't need any more reason than I like it and I think it's fun, that's all you need. But this is not going to be a bear defense gun in our repertoire. I was hoping that maybe I would buy it from Cmmg, get it SBR'd on a trust, and then kind of give it to my wife and be like, hey, this is your, bear defense. She wants to go walking in the woods by our house. She has Glock Model 40 on her side, and she wanted something, something small, lightweight, especially as she's walking with the babies. That would be, an ideal firearm for her, because she doesn't like the recoil of the 458 SOCOM or the 4570. So use this as a long gun, same mags, and you can do that. But the problem is she's carrying 220 or 200 grain hard cast, either or, in her Glock mags with the KKM barrel, and that's just not going to coincide with what this gun likes. So hopefully Cmmg will work on the twist rate in whatever their new generation of 10mm will be. And I would also like to see, maybe something you don't have to SBR, like a 16-inch barrel. It's a lot of work and development, and I know it's a lot of research, R&D, and it probably won't happen anytime soon, but they are a very good company, and I'm sure they'll take care of the twist rates in the new barrels so that you can stabilize actual bear defense ammunition. That being said, it's great. I have not tried it with the 140 grain extreme penetrators, simply because I haven't seen any on the shelf lately, and when I have, they've been $60 a box, and I've already shot a bunch out of my stock, and I don't really want to shoot anymore. But this thing seems to do okay with the lighter bullets in the 115 grain extreme defenders, so maybe the 140 grain extreme penetrators makes this a bear defense gun, or maybe the 155 grain extreme hunters from Underwood and Lehigh Defense make this a bear defense gun, or maybe the 150 grain spear bonded total metal jacket makes this a bear defense gun. So there's a lot of options still for bear defense. It's just that our Glocks are running 200 or 180 grain hard cast, and this just is not getting the groups for that. But I like it. It's a fun gun. It would be much more fun with the brace on. Maybe my groups would improve. Who knows? But I do have to send this back soon, so I'm going to shoot this and compare it to the Strybog with Chook. So be looking for that video coming up. And then I'm going to compare this to the 9-inch Lone Wolf barrel over a chronograph. So be looking for that video coming up. Y'all take care. Check out my MeWe page, my Instagram, my Twitter X feed, my Rumble feed, all of those things. Check those out. This is a great firearm. Godspeed and good hunting to all of y'all. We'll see you at the range.